Power. We chase it, worship it, and fear it. Nations rise for it. Civilizations crumble beneath it. And in its shadow, humanity reveals its truest face. But how far will we go for power? To rule, to be remembered, to feel control over chaos. Is the hunger for power a flaw of our species, or the force that built the world itself? The fire that made us. Long before empires, before kings and crowns, there was fire. When our ancestors tamed it, they tamed the first form of power, nature itself. In that moment, something changed. We learned that the world could bend to our will, that creation and destruction could sit in our hands. From the first flame to the first tool, we began a journey that would never stop, the journey to control. But power has always spoken with two voices. One whispers, "You can build." The other, "You can rule." That tension still defines us. The same hands that invented medicine built the atomic bomb. The same voices that preached peace raised armies. And the same hearts that dreamed of justice often burned with the desire to dominate. The first thrones. In the dawn of civilization, power became visible. Kings were not just rulers, they were symbols. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs claimed to be gods. In Mesopotamia, rulers built ziggurats that scraped the heavens. Power was no longer about survival, it was about divinity. But every throne casts a shadow. For every ruler who claimed divine right, countless others bowed, believing obedience was sacred. The human mind, it seemed, was built not only to seek power, but also to surrender to it. Psychologists today call it the hierarchy instinct. In every society, large or small, we divide, organize, and obey. We trade freedom for order, chaos for command. It feels safer that way. But safety has a price, and the price of power is always paid by the powerless. The seduction of the crown. Why do we crave control over others? Maybe because control feels like certainty, a shield against the fear of being nothing. History's great tyrants, from Caesar to Genghis Khan, from Napoleon to Hitler, were not only conquerors of land, but of meaning. They believed power could rewrite truth itself. And in many ways, they were right. Every age has its narrative of might, its heroes, its victors, its history written in blood and stone. We call them empires, but they're monuments to obsession. In Rome, they built arches to celebrate conquest. In China, walls to protect power's illusion of permanence. In Europe, cathedrals that reached toward heaven to prove that God stood on the side of kings. Power is not satisfied with possession. It demands belief. It wants to be justified, sanctified, eternalized. The philosopher's warning. But thinkers have always warned us. Plato imagined the philosopher king, a ruler guided not by greed, but by wisdom. He knew that when ignorance leads, power corrupts. Centuries later, Lord Acton would say the words that echo through time. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But why? Because power alters perception. It bends empathy, distorts conscience, and convinces the mind that what serves oneself serves all. Modern neuroscience supports this ancient truth. Power changes the brain. Studies show that people with authority are more likely to take risks, interrupt others, and struggle to see from another's perspective. It's not always evil, it's neurological. The more control we hold, the less connected we become to those we control. And so power is both an opportunity and an infection, a test of character that few survive unscarred. The people's power. Yet power is not just for rulers. It flows through crowds, movements, and voices. When the French Revolution shouted, "Liberté, égalité, fraternité," it was the sound of power returning to the people. But the guillotine soon followed. When technology gave us democracy, social media gave everyone a throne, a digital kingdom of influence, where likes replace loyalty and followers become subjects. Now each of us holds a small, invisible scepter, a voice that can reach the world. But are we any wiser with it? We cancel, command, praise, and punish, as if the moral authority of the crowd is purer than the authority of the king. Yet history whispers otherwise. Mass power is still power, and the crowd can be as cruel as the crown. The illusion of control. Power promises control, over fate, over others, over death itself. But deep down, we know the truth. Control is an illusion. The emperor dies, the dynasty fades, the fortune disappears. Even the greatest leaders become names carved into stone, their voices lost in the wind. Still, we reach. Perhaps it's because we mistake power for purpose. When we command, we feel seen. When we conquer, we feel immortal. When we control, we feel safe. But that safety is borrowed, rented from a universe that remains indifferent to our desires. The Stoics understood this long ago. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor-philosopher who ruled the mightiest empire of his age, wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True power, he realized, is not domination, it is discipline. Power's mirror. To understand power, we must first look at its mirror. Powerlessness. What does it mean to have none? To live under oppression, under command, to be silenced, invisible, expendable. History is filled with those who lived without power, and yet changed everything. A peasant girl named Joan of Arc, a prisoner named Gandhi, a preacher named Martin Luther King Jr., a seamstress named Rosa Parks. Their strength was not in control, but in conviction. They proved that moral power can outlast political power. Their defiance revealed a deeper truth, that the highest form of power may not be to rule, but to resist. The modern empire. Today, the face of power has changed, but its hunger has not. It no longer wears a crown or holds a sword. It lives in data, networks, and invisible algorithms. We measure influence in numbers, likes, clicks, views, digital echoes of old ambition. Corporations shape our desires before we name them. Governments watch us through glass screens, and the human mind, once the freest territory, is now the new battlefield. Power today is silent. It does not conquer by force, but by persuasion. It does not rule by fear, but by design. And in the illusion of freedom, we may be more controlled than ever. The ethical edge. So how far will we go? Will we use technology to uplift or to dominate? Will AI become a tool for understanding, or the next empire of control? The ethical line between power and progress is thinner than ever. Science gives us the means to alter life itself, to clone, to enhance, to erase. And every discovery raises the same question. Should we? Because the future's greatest challenge will not be inventing power, but defining its purpose. The ancient question. From myth to modernity, we've told the same story again and again. Prometheus stealing fire from the gods, Adam and Eve reaching for forbidden knowledge, Faust trading his soul for mastery. Each tale warns us that the price of ultimate power is always humanity itself. But we keep returning to the fire because the flame still tempts us. It's the light of creation and the shadow of destruction. It is who we are, a species caught between wisdom and will. The power within. Yet maybe the real question is not how far we'll go for power, but how far we'll go to understand it. What if the urge to dominate is just a distorted echo of our urge to create? What if the desire to control others is born from the fear of losing control of ourselves? Every act of power, from building cities to writing poems, begins in the same place, the imagination. And imagination, unlike tyranny, can lift instead of crush. The power that builds bridges, heals wounds, and forgives. That is the kind of power that endures. It doesn't demand obedience. It invites understanding. The final reflection. So, how far will we go? Maybe as far as it takes to learn what power truly means. Because the story of power is the story of humanity. Our brilliance and our blindness, our courage and our corruption, our longing to matter in a universe that owes us nothing. Power has built our empires and destroyed our innocence. It has written our laws, our art, our wars. But its final form is not in thrones or weapons or wealth. It is in choice. The power to choose empathy over cruelty, wisdom over pride, creation over conquest. That is the kind of power that no empire can take away. Closing narration. In the end, the question is not whether power corrupts, but whether we can transform it, to turn the hunger for control into the strength to understand, to lead, not by fear, but by conscience. And perhaps then, power will no longer be what we take from others, but what we awaken in ourselves. If you found this exploration insightful, give this video a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Timeless Questions channel for more deep dives into philosophy, history, and human nature. Because the questions may be ancient, but the wisdom is timeless.